Hey guys, let's do a little beginner sewing 101 as we learn to embellish a little.
Hey everyone, it's Susie Lee with Bellalina Boutique. Welcome to my segment of Craft Round the Clock. Come on in. Happy Tuesday, you guys. So nice to have you join me today. I'm just here doing a little hand stitching. You know what we're going to be doing? I was at Target the other day. You know, I did the Target Dollar Spot Bunnies. I was there, and I was buying some clearance items for my grandkids. And you know what? I found some things that I needed. I need a gift. And so for a baby gift. And so what I did was I purchased this cute little onesie. However, this is for a baby girl. So this just kind of looked nondescript, right? I mean, it's all right. But we're going to embellish this cute little onesie. And I got a toozy over here. I got a pair of pants to match, basically, is what this is. So I'm going to show you how we're going to embellish this today. We're going to have some fun. I love embellishing. Now, just because it's for a baby doesn't mean you can't do this for an adult as well. The only reason I'm doing it by hand is because, look, if I do this on my sewing machine, if you don't have a sewing machine or if you don't sew, this is sewing 101. It's so easy, right? No pun intended. It's so easy, right? Let's just sit down and have us a little sewing session today. See how tiny this is? Now, when you sew a piece of lace or something like that on something that's stretchy like this, you need to, ask me how I know this. I found out a long time ago when I was doing this for my Angelina, you need to stretch it before you pin whatever it is you're going to pin to this. Now, we are going to use this pretty lace I got the other day. One of the few things I got from Joann Fabrics that was decent that they were selling was this beautiful cotton lace. I bought some bolts of this, and I was going to put pink on this, but when I put the white against the gray, I really liked it. I thought it was really pretty, and it gives it a little girly girl look to me. First thing I want to do is I want to show you how you can sweetly embellish a little sleeve like this. I mean, yeah, you could leave it like this if you want to. I like lace, and so I added a cute little, just a little cuff on this. Now, this doesn't have to be real big because usually babies' hands are tiny and you put them through and they go through no problem, okay? But on a pair of pants, it's another story because their feet, they get in. You need to stretch it, and I can't stretch this on my machine big enough. So what I did was I walked around my house, and I found, this is funny, and I found this little piece, and it's a cross, oddly enough. It's just a little cross, and because it's a cross, it was exactly across this way, enough to stretch this little leg open. See how small it is like this, but you can stretch it just enough for baby to get a foot into, right? So what I did was I took my lace, I stretched this across, and I just pinned it on. As you can see, it's pinned all the way around. And what I did was I didn't want the legs being too long with the addition of the lace. So I just pinned it up just above the, there's elastic in it. See, there's like a little bit of elastic there. I pinned it just above the elastic, and that's where I'm whip stitching it. It's called whip stitching. Okay, I already have this ready to go. Now, my mama taught me this many moons ago, and I've already started half of this. I've got half of this already whip stitched on here. Okay, so all you do with a whip stitch is you just take this teeny tiny little bit of fabric, just a little bit, and I go underneath the lace because you don't want to see these white stitches on the gray. So the white on the white, and I use the type of thread that I like to use is like a quilting thread. It's a little bit on the thicker side. It's a poly cotton. And I really like it because it's not so skinny that it gets all tangled up. It's great for doing what I'm getting ready to do, little handwork. And it doesn't get tangled, and it's strong. And it goes through pretty much the eye of any needle. Even if it's a small one, it'll go through small. Think out of the box. Think when you're shopping this summer and you see clearance items and you're like, oh, that's really cute. Think embellishing upon it. Honestly, even something like what I'm wearing here, think about adding a little lace to the pocket, you know, a little piece of lace, or to the collar, or a little something down here, a little bling maybe down here or something. Think about embellishing upon it. It just takes it up a level, and it gives it more of that boutique look, like you bought it somewhere really expensive, and all you did was add a few little details to it, and it just elevates your pieces, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. You go up underneath that lace and in through the lace, and I like to pull it nice and taut. Why? Because I don't want any of the threads showing on the gray pant cuff. Okay? So you can see as I'm going, you're not seeing any of that white on there. You're just seeing the lace on top of the gray, right? And so what you do is you go in and out above the lace right here. You're going to go under the lace, then you're going to go right above it. If you've never done this kind of detail work, it's so easy, so easy. And yes, you could do this if it was an adult's. You could do it by stretching it over the arm of your sewing machine. There's like a little, my sewing machine is a Brother, and it has an arm, but the arm is about that wide for an adult size garment. And I don't really sew that much, but I did learn that. I learned a few things from making tutus, that you do the same thing when you're sewing elastic and ribbon together. You have to stretch it as you go. You stretch it and sew it on as you go. If you don't, it's the elastic and the whatever you're putting with it, it's not going to stretch. It's going to pull all your stitches apart when you go to stretch it. So when you're sewing something onto elastic, you need to stretch it as you're sewing. Hence, I've got this little cross in here that's stretching it out just enough. Okay, I learned that the hard way. So just so you know, so you go up underneath and do what you call a whip stitch. Why is it called a whip stitch? Well, my mom said it was a whip stitch. Probably because you're going like this. You're going down in, up through, and around. And you're like, you know, when you're whipping it, whip it good. You know what I'm saying? You're whip stitching it. So that's why it's called a whip stitch. It's kind of like, you know, when you're whipping, whipped cream, or you're whipping eggs or whatever. So that's why it's called that. Just a little FYI. Did you know that? You could do this. It's so easy. Anybody can do this. I'm telling you, this is hand sewing 101 here, girls. So if you've never done that, and it's so easy. And you know what? When you give a gift like this, and it's, you know, it's just made so cutie, as my Angelina, that's her word. Oh, it's so cutie. She's 16. You make it so cutie, and they open it and they go, oh, that is so cute. And like, where did you get this? Oh, I got this at a boutique downtown, you know. No, you made it. You made it with all the love in your heart, and you would hope that the recipient would love it as much as you did making it for them. Okay, I'm going to take some of these pins out of here on this side. I think I took them out mostly. Okay, so when you get to the edge, when you start, you have to decide if you want the edge to be in the center, on the side, or on the back. I decided I wanted it front and center because I've got something that goes on top of this, okay? When I did the arms, I did those differently, so I'll show you that too. So what I'm going to do is go right straight across. What I did, I will show you. where the twain shall meet, this end meets this end, all I did was I made this end a little bit bigger and tucked it underneath like that. So as I'm going across now, I'm just whip stitching it to this piece and it's turned under, okay? So yeah, you're gonna see the seam until I put something on top of it. I'm just taking these two pieces and whip stitching them together, just like I did over here, all the way around on the fabric. Okay, I'm just gonna pinch them together here. Okay, now when you get to the end, you got a little loop here. Okay, you've just stitched, but don't pull it all the way through. You're gonna go in through that loop once and twice, like that, and then you're gonna pull it, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna give you a knot, and you're done. You can do that 2-3 times if you want, but on a baby garment like this, an infant garment, it's not like they're gonna be out playing soccer in it. So you're good. I'm just gonna tie a little knot in it here, and we're gonna tack on a little embellishment real quick. Hey, Kathy Cortez. You have your mother's sewing machine, but you can't use it, can't figure out how to remove the bottom bobbin. Okay, so what you do is you go to Google and you put in the brand, and you can even put in the serial number, and it will bring up the directions for your model, if it's Singer, Brother, Pfaff, whatever brand it might be, and it'll bring it up, and you can look in there, look in the, what am I trying to say? The instructions. It will pull up the instructions for you. You can print them and you can keep them somewhere, you know, handy. Anyway, how cute is this? I took them from bland, it's just bland, to cutie, right? And see what we did here? What I did here was I just grabbed, you go to Hobby Lobby in the ribbon department, and you're gonna look like, usually in my Hobby Lobby, it's on the bottom rack. On a roll, this is little rosettes, little shabby chic rosettes on a roll, and I love having them. They come in all different colors. They come in ivory and white, and they come in pink, and sometimes you see them in like a multicolor, but it comes off square. I want to show you this. It comes off, it's like a little shabby chic flower on netting, okay? So you can use a whole roll of this and put it, you know, how cute, you can make your jackets and stuff like that. Really cute, right? Put a little rosette on the pocket. Honestly, so cute. But what I did was I just cut it off. But when you cut it off, then it's square, right? No problemo. All you have to do is take your scissor and round it. Just make it round. Just because it's square don't mean it has to stay that way, right? So the reason that I told you I put the, now see how wide that is? I can take that and I could put two babies' feet through there, right? This is only a 12-month-old, and you know when they're wearing 12 months old, they're usually only about 6 months old, so they're still baby feet, right? So anyway, just so that they can get them through there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tack this right on, right where the seams met. Remember I said don't worry about it, you're not going to see it, right in the center. I'm going to go in through the back here, just like this. And I'm just going to put in a couple of quick tacks, not anything big. You don't need a lot. Like I said, it's not like she's going to be playing soccer in this or anything. So anyway, just like I said, 2-3 stitches is all I'm going to do here. I'm just going to come up through the back here. And you can, and if you want, you can do this part like you could do it on a with fabric glue. You can fabric tack it. And hot glue, there's hot fabric glue. You can do the white sticks of fabric glue. Okay, what I'm doing back here is I'm just knotting it like I showed you. You take up a stitch, and then where that loop is, you go in through the loop once, in through the loop twice, pull it tight, and you've got a knot. And that's as simple as that. You cut it down, and now you've got something adorable for baby. Look how cute that is. So much cuter, right? Than just a plain old something. And this has got pockets too. So, I mean, you could put like little butterfly patches on here or anything you want. You could even take another one of these little rosettes, put one on each pocket. That would be adorable. So anyway, I'm just going to take this and set it aside for a minute, and we're going to work on also the onesie. I did not show you how I did that. Now this is just a cap that I had in my office up here. So I'm just gonna take this little cap. See, I walked around here, I go, what would be round and not be a mess? The cap that I had off of a Heinz ketchup bottle that I was saving for some paint up here. You know what my mama used to say, any port in the storm, whatever you got to use, you get by. You do like this, for instance. How cute is this that I used to stretch out the pant leg with? That was a perfect stretch from here to here, right? Okay, let's take this cute onesie and we're going to embellish it to look like this side. All right, so what I did, you're going to stretch this open and you're going to put this cap inside. This cap's going to be your model arm. You're going to do this. You're just going to stretch it right over the cap because it needs to be like that while you are putting on your trim. Okay, so what I did was I stretched out enough that I could see it's going to go all the way around while it's stretched, right? And then I go beyond the seam, beyond where I started. I go beyond, about an inch because I'm going to turn it under. And I want to make sure that I have enough. Better too much than not enough is what I say. Okay? And I'm going to take my pins here, and we're going to pin it on. First thing we're going to do is just take our pins and just pin it right on the fabric. What I'm doing is I'm keeping, you can see where I'm starting it. I'm keeping the middle of the trim in the middle of the cuff. Okay, now let me show you this. This cuff, when it was manufactured, has been doubled over. Okay, so you've got two pieces of fabric here. So when I go in to whip stitch this on, I'm only going through one of those pieces of fabric. Hence, I don't have stitching back here. Isn't that nice? See how nice and clean that is there? That looks nice and clean, right? I don't have all that stitching back there. It makes it look ugly and unprofessional. So if you think ahead a little bit, you can plan it like that. And that's what I did as I was putting this together. I'm looking at this going, where should I put this trim that where it will look nicely once it's attached. So that's kind of why it's where it is. Hey, my genie. Absolutely love this idea. So going to do this to my Levi's. Oh gosh, yes, absolutely. Your Levi's would be adorable with this. Think about embellishing a hat, a little denim hat or something to go with it. Gosh, I could think of all kinds of things for little girls, especially. A hair bow, add a hair bow to it, and don't forget to add this lace in with it, Okay, now we're on the other side of it, all the way around. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to take and turn this under, lay it on top of the seam, and we're going to pin it right there in the middle. Then when we go all the way around, see, I'm going to start sewing it from this end, and I'm going to whip stitch the seam together first, get to the middle, and then go around. Once I go around, I'm going to finish whipping that together all the way. Does that make sense? So you start at this end, go to the middle, go all the way around, and go that way. So you don't have like this big long piece of thread that you're don't know what to do with. If you start anywhere else, that's what happens. Okay, now, how do you determine how much thread you're going to need? Well, I double mine to make it strong. So you want to make sure that you go around this. I like to say at least 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is where you need to be this long twice, okay? The reason I like so much extra is because you use more than you think you do going all the way around. So I like to have a little extra. And don't forget, you're not just going around, but you're going across too. So you got to keep in mind you're doing a little extra. So what I do is I thread the needle first, Susie. Thread the needle, Susie. And like I said, I love, love, love this quilter's thread because it's thick and it doesn't tangle easily, and it's just a nice thread, really nice thread. So you're just going to make a few knots at the end of your needle. I always cut it off first because I don't like having threads hanging when I'm done. I like to be done when I'm done. It's just a thing I do. What I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to start on this end and I'm going to whip stitch where I folded that over. I'm going to whip stitch. I'm going to go underneath so that knot is underneath, okay? Just like that. Now there's the knot, okay? But I'm going to pinch it, or as my mother would say, pinch it. We used to tease her so much, their cute little southern accent. I'm just going to pinch it right here. And we're going to start whipping it. Whipping it good. Okay, so I'm just going in, up and around, in, up and around, whipping it. Like I said, that's why it's called a whip stitch, okay? And it's white on white, so you're not going to see any of the threads. So don't get too detailed on me, because, you know, it takes the fun out of it if you get too stressed out. And here's the thing. If by some slim chance you were to mess it up, it's easy to fix, you know, it's just a needle and thread. It's gonna be fine. Okay, now I'm in the middle. See, I went from this end to here and I'm in the middle. Stuck in the middle with you. Okay, so here we go. What I'm gonna do is I am going to, you can kind of feel the gray fabric underneath. You can just feel it, and you just go in. Now sometimes it feels a little thickish, you know, that's usually because, you know, you've hit a piece of the lace that's a little thicker. And my hands, I don't know about y'all, but my hands don't have the dexterity that they used to. And so what I do is I just take my jewelry pliers, because it's got this little spring load thing, okay? And sometimes I feel like, because I have carpal tunnel, sometimes I don't have the strength in my hands. I just don't have it. And so I just cheat a little with my tools. And why not? It's not really a cheat, right? It's not a cheat. It's just makes life a little simpler. It's a tool. That's what tools are for, right? Can you guys think of some things in your closet, even right now, that you could pull out? Go grab yourself some of this lace at Joann's before it's all gone. And just start embellishing. Even, I could think of handbags and hats and accessories. And, you know, you could even make jewelry with this. I love this lace. I think it would be really pretty as a choker. Don't you? You could even hang, because it's so lacy, you could hang one of those C-rings and hang yourself a cross on that and make a little choker with a totally dazzled cross or something, you know? So many pretty things you could do. I'm always thinking, y'all. You could even sew some of this lace, just like what I'm doing now, onto a piece of elastic. They sell it at the Dollar Tree, I believe, elastic, but you can get elastic at Joann's or wherever. And you could make yourself a little lace cuff to go over your wrists or your sleeve, whatever you're wearing, and make it, you know, big enough to where it'll lay nicely on your sleeve and it'll look like a little lace cuff, like a little accessory. That would be really pretty, but you make sure that you're stretching it as you're sewing it, right? Okay, so where we're at here is where we started, all right? So I've gone all the way around, taken out all the pins. Make sure you take out the pins, especially if you're working on a child's garment. You want to make sure they don't get poked anywheres, right? And then I started over on this side, I started whip stitching it. So now we have to finish it going all the way over this way. And sealing where I folded it over to begin with. Remember I folded it over like that. And we're just going to stitch it together. Simple, right? Easy peasy with about 3 or 4 more stitches and we're done. Okay, and so I'm going to go down underneath here and I'm going to create a knot. Find the loop. Go in once, go in twice, and pull it slowly. Make yourself a knot and tie it off. Just like that. Now I'm going to use what's left on there. I'm going to take out this pin so nobody gets stuck. And I'll take out my Heinz 57 cap. Anything you got laying around can be used. Look at how cute that is now. Isn't that cute? So now you've got a matchy outfit, right? And I'm running out of time. I cannot believe I had this prepped so much. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the buttons that I bought a long time ago. I didn't know what I was going to buy these buttons for. I had no clue. But look at how cute these are going to be. I'm going to replace these kind of casual little buttons on here. I'm just going to nip them off with this cute little sparkly heart-shaped pink. How cute is pink and gray together, right? Just for a little touch of color, just a little touch of color. So these 2 buttons are going to get replaced very, very simply. And I'm going to take some of this trim that I have, if I can find it, this little rosette trim, and it's going to go along the neckline all the way around, just like that. Okay, so there's going to be a little bit of a white trim on that. And then I was kind of thinking of taking some ribbon and running it through here and there and making little bows along the legs and along the sleeve and along the bodice of this, like little ribbons that I can tie and tack on. So that will give it a complete boutique look, in my opinion. Over the top, I call it. I love over the top. Like, you know, the little shoes that have, you know, over the top boutique bows. They're stacked and the little girls walk with them and they're all blinged out at the toe. I make those. So for me, that's what I call over the top, just a little bit extra. And that's me. I'm a little bit extra. If you know me, you know. That's all there is to that. I'm a little extra. So that's what we're going to do to finish it off. And I will take some pictures of it when it's done to show y'all how cute that turned out. I think it turned out really sweet. It reminds me of the 70s hippie boho look. A little bit, doesn't it? Kind of. So how cute will that be all tied together? All right, guys. Love y'all. See you soon. Bye.